very good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for finding time to be with us today. The show is Africa Showdown. We are to bring you the latest events from across Africa. And of course, as you all know, if you've been watching us, we've been following closely and covering the elections here in Kenya. Kenyans went to the elections on the 9th of August 2022, last Tuesday. And right now, the country is anxiously waiting for the final tallies as they continue there at the Bomas of Kenya, which happens to be the National Tallying Center led by IEBC Chairperson Wafula Chebukati. A lot has been happening, even just from Bomas itself. A lot of shocks, some leaders who were not re-elected back, and others new faces that we've seen. So we have so much to talk about today, even as we continue to the countdown as we wait for IEBC to announce the official winner of the presidential results from this year's general election. My name is Miriam Ogotu, and it is a pleasure to have you on board. On the other side of the studio, we have Dr. David Matanga. Doctor, very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, right from near Bomas of Kenya. Thank you very much. We are watching the events of what is taking place around the Bomas of Kenya. We are in a location just very in proximity of this big hall. And we were watching right to see what comes out, the white smoke will be coming. But I don't know whether you are hearing me. Okay. Whether the white smoke will be coming out now, today, or tomorrow. So that is what we want. But I think most likely the white smoke could come out tomorrow, because the forms are still very many. Verification takes 30 minutes for one polling station. So you can see the amount of time that is taken on this subject. Thank you very much, Miriam. Back to you. And thank you very much, Tanui. I can see you are very still alive, and we are still kicking. Thank you very much, Tanui Nakuru. And thank you very much, Gladwell Kiragu. I've not seen you for some time. Thank you very much. And also, Miriam, back to you in the studio. I think I seem to have stopped there.
Okay, all right, Doc. Thank you so much for that. So far, before I introduce the rest of the panelists, the number of tallied 34 Bs constituencies is 174. Remember, we do have 290. Constituencies, and so right now the ones that have been tallied so far is 174. So we are awaiting for 116 that are still remaining, and I think IEBC has been trying really very hard to beat this process the time, because they do have up until Tuesday for them to be done with this tallying, and I think it's important for them to take all the time they need so that they make sure they give out the right numbers and figures out there, and Kenyans are just urged to continue being patient there. We are also joined this afternoon from Nairobi by Daniel Wesonga. Daniel, a very good afternoon to you.
Yes, very good afternoon to you, Miriam. Good afternoon to our viewers across the continent of Africa. And of course, it is my pleasure to be on the conversation this particular afternoon.
Very well, nice to have you. And we're also joined by Jevan Karanja all the way from Nanyuki. Jevan, a very good afternoon to you.
Very good afternoon to you, Miriam. Good afternoon to our viewers and the panel. It's a pleasure being on Punchline Africa Television. Thank you.
All right. Nice to have you too, Jevan. It's been a while, so it's good that you've joined today. And of course, last but not least, certainly we are joined by Samuel Tawish, also a journalist and our in-house analyst from Narok. Tawish, a very good afternoon to you.
A very good afternoon to you. Indeed, Miriam Ogutu from our communication headquarters. Good afternoon to Dr. David Masanga. Good afternoon to my colleague correspondents, and of course to all our viewers. watching this program in Kenya, Africa, and the rest of the world. My pleasure to join you on this program.
All right, nice to have all of you. So before we get into the conversation today, let me just bring us up to date with the latest as far as the headlines this afternoon is concerned. And I think being that it's still a spotlight on the elections, a lot of this, what we have on the headlines maybe has been passed by events, overtaken by events, but still, this is what the Sunday Standard has on its front pages. The decisive votes as cautious optimism washes over the country. With every vote counted and verifying process ongoing, the numbers are trickling in fast at the Bomas of Kenya. And as the collective patience of a nation is tested by the long wait, we examine the numbers that could determine who becomes the next head of state. That story is from page 2 all the way to page 13 on the Sunday Standard. And breaking the ceiling, 7 women write history after winning governor's seats in Embu, Nakuru, Homa Bay, Meru, Machakos, Kirinyaga, and Kwale. That is on page 7. And no school tomorrow as poll results drag on. The story is on page 10. And just up there, the First Lady who oozes class elegance in the 10 years that she has been in State House, Mrs. Kenyatta, whose fashion sense oozes class and elegance, has given well-prepared speeches and rarely speaks off the cuff. That story is on page 14 and 15. The Sunday Nation, the main headline, Mind Games, the Raila Ruto power balance. Deputy President and Azimio La Umoja leader Odinga's political camps seek to energize their bases as the long wait for the official IEBC announcement tests the patience of a nation already fatigued by long political campaigns and high cost of living. That story is in the inside pages, page 4 on the Sunday Nation. Death of the ruling party, Jubilee follows KANU footsteps. That is on page 13. Mount Kenya's deep love and raw hate for Uhuru. That is on page 12. Enter the Kingmakers of 2022 polls, and they are here. Kalonzo Musyoka, Moses Wetangula, Fred Matiang'i, Ali Roba, Hassan Joho, Salim Mvurya, Eugene Wamalwa, Rigathi Gachagua, among others. That story is on page 19, 20, and 21. Political dynasties harvest mixed bags. Prominent families that have occupied high political offices since independence, including the Mois, Odingas, and Kihikas, and the Kajwang, Sunkuli, and Wetangula brothers, record mixed fortunes at the August 9 poll. So that is what we have on the front pages of the 2 leading newspapers today. Back to you, Doc.
Thank you very much, Miriam. Thank you very much for those headlines. And ladies and gentlemen, let's begin by dissecting one by one. First of all, I want to brief you on what exactly took place before the discovery of extra ballots in Mount Kenya. What has happened is that when we alerted, we said here we want an API. API is application for processing interface, which could have now shown you where was the Kim kit, who touched it, where was it before it arrived at the polling station. And the people did not take it seriously. One of the problems that we have had is that API. The API now indicates, because from these results, you can see that the results that there was already, before people started, there was already a punched in number that could actually reflect and add on what is finally coming out of the PI with any photograph. Because the photograph doesn't say Miriam is the one voting. The photograph says the ballot was inside the Kim kit. So what might have happened, which happened, I've followed the story of Philippines, Miriam, and for the president of Philippines almost looked for these guys with a gun. He wanted to shoot all of them, of this Smartmatics company. They planned for the opposition in the Philippines. They planted all these things, and the government brought them. Then they worked, they ate money twice. They ate money from the government, and then the opposition tipped them, gave them money. They were paid from the Catholic Church through Rome. And here we are. St. Gideon was involved. And what has happened is, it looks like this API was not given to the ODM party. And I don't know why they did not insist that until we get the API, we don't want to take part in an election. So now we have found ourselves in this mess, Miriam. Two, my observation about all this is, for us in 2017 to have won this election, we were very active in making sure that there were certain things that we sealed. We had to seal loopholes. And here we had to, some of us had to come in. That's why you can see we are broken down to say this loophole is there. Chinchiri is taking the numbers. Chinchiri is doing this. Chinchiri, because we know Chinchiri ourselves. To believe party knows Chinchiri from 2013. So, Miriam, I believe there is something someone can not underestimate. There is something that builds the story that will end up in court. I think there is quite a lot to be done, whatever it is, but that said, let's wait for the results. Raila Odinga has a good chance of winning this election. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Doc. So I think one notable thing from this election, I think, is the increase of women being elected in different capacities. But we'll start with the governorship. I think in the last election, the last parliament, we had about 3 elected governors, but right now they have gone up all the way to 7. And I think this is a good thing. So I don't know, we have Fatuma Achani of Kwale, who was elected on a UDA ticket. We have Anne Waiguru of Kirinyaga, who was elected on UDA ticket. Cecily Mbarire of Embu, she was also elected on UDA ticket. Susan Kihika of Nakuru, also she was elected on UDA ticket. Wavinya Ndeti on Wiper, and Kawira Mwangaza Meru, as she was elected as an independent, and Gladys Wanga in Homa Bay, who was elected on an ODM ticket, Kiptanui Savania. So Kenyans, after all, can actually elect more women in these elective political positions now.
Thank you, and good afternoon, Miriam. And good afternoon, everybody who is on the panel. Congratulations to the women who have been elected, and congratulations to those who have elected them. Miriam, this country has reached a position whereby women are now upcoming. And you see, Miriam, as we are praying so much for these elections, as we are praying so much for Raila Odinga, so that we also have the first female deputy president. Miriam, this shows that most of it, we are now far away from that culture whereby we were demeaning women. We are far away from that culture, Miriam, where women were of less importance in society, especially in my Kalenjin. You remember in 2017 we elected the first female, the late Laboso in Bomet, was actually elected also as a governor. Miriam, I want to say without fear that ladies and women now are coming up in this leadership, Miriam, and we've seen what they have done. Wherever they touch, it is progressing. Wherever they touch, it is progressing. So, in my opinion, it seems most of the voters and most of the female generation have seen that whatever the females are steering with is succeeding. I submit.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you so much, Cladwell.
Thank you so much, Miriam. And we in the era whereby we can see that women have actually taken a lead in leadership, unlike the past, whereby some of these positions are only meant for men, and it was only believed that in politics, it's only a man who can actually rule. But now we are past that, and that's why I'm actually happy for my fellow women, and I'm always happy to see my fellow women actually go for the high positions in office and also in parliament. We have also have the youngest woman by the name Totoa. She's nicknamed. I'm also happy for her because that is a stepping stone, despite the age. she managed the position and she was elected. So this is a wake-up call to women coming maybe 2027 as we are continuing, we are progressing, and we're hoping that by 2027 we'll be seeing so many women. Let's also not forget the deputy president, the aspirant deputy Azimio president the deputy president is also a woman. So if, for example, if the Azimio scoops the position, then that also be a big milestone for the women also, that they can actually now be also fit in positions, because as I've said in the past, it was only believed that it's only men who can actually rule in leadership, more so in government. So I am happy for these women. May they deliver to their counties, may they deliver for the country.
Okay, very well, thank you so much. Daniel Wesonka, with more women in these leadership positions, also in leading these counties, 7 this time from 3 we've had last time.
Miriam, I know that it's quite a milestone, and the women of this country
Can't hear you.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yes.
Yeah, so it is actually a milestone for the women of this country for having 7 governors elected. And if things go as perhaps we expect going to turn out, like Dr. Matsanga said, then we are also looking at a possibility of having the first woman deputy president who might eventually become the first woman president of this particular republic. So I think, Miriam, as a country, we are taking great milestones, and it is something worth to be celebrated. And it's quite light at the end of the tunnel. When you look at other countries in Africa, apart from Tanzania, we have no any other particular country where women have been at the epitome of the leadership of that particular country. So to me, I think, just like my co-panelists, it is a good sign for the people of this country and a big win for the women of this country. In the coming elections, we expect to see more women coming on board and actually clinching these seats. You remember in 2017 general election, we had only 3 women governors. And right now we've moved to 7, more than double. So I believe in other coming elections, maybe eventually they'll move to half of the county governments. And from there, we shall be able to have a scenario where women can competitively battle it out with their male counterparts and be able to clinch some of these seats, the top seat notwithstanding, Miriam. I submit.
Very well, thank you so much. Samuel Tawish. It's quite a stride we're making here as a country.
Thank you so much, Miriam, and thank you for colleague, our correspondents. Indeed, Miriam, what the women of this country have done is quite an achievement. It's something that is quite notable, something that is we need really to applaud the women for the efforts they have put forth. But beyond that, over and above, Miriam, I also think that we need to laud the voters of Kenya for giving our women the chance really to be leaders. Because again, there's one thing for women to present themselves onto the ballot, but there's another thing of being elected. And when the voters decide to go to the ballot and choose amongst, when you have an ocean of men and a woman emerges as a winner, it does tell you and give you an indication that women are slowly but gradually breaking that ceiling of the men-dominated political world. Take, for example, what happened in Meru County, where one little-known Kawira Mwangaza, the now governor-elect for Meru County, was able really to trounce the 2 men. Most of them, the 2 men who have been in the political leadership for quite some time, and she was able to break that ceiling. Even on an independent ticket, had become the first ever woman to have been elected in that particular county. The examples are there. You've highlighted about, of course, Homa Bay. You've highlighted about Nakuru, one in Embu, Cecil Mbarire, and the one about Kwale. That is, of course, Achani and Wavinya Ndeti from Machakos County. And there's so many, and Anne Waiguru from Kirinyaga. And there's so many other ladies who have been elected as senators in the respective counties in our country today. Not to mention also that we have women also been elected as, as members of parliament, that is in the National Assembly. And also, Miriam, don't forget that there's a very good number of women also who have been elected as deputy governor-elects in this particular election that we have just concluded. It does tell you that as time goes by, we are going to break that ceiling and the dominance and the perception of the quote-unquote the superiority of men that has for quite some time really dominated our politics retrogressively so. Because again, there's no need for women to wait to be nominated for them really to come out and compete. They need to come out in the open and actually compete with men. Because when it comes to competition, we are all equal. As long as there's that opportunity, as long as they have a good vision, as long as they are able to persuade the electorates, I do not see why they really have to be denied that opportunity to be elected as our leader. So it's quite an impressive step that women have made in this country, but it also speaks volume about our democracy. It speaks about how we are maturing politically and democratically as a nation. We are actually following the example of what Rwanda is today in the African continent, because as we speak today, it is a country which has a majority of elected women in its parliament. So Kenya is also following in that footstep. And I think even in the coming general election in 2027, who knows, perhaps we are going to have an almost 50-50 or thereabouts of women and men who are going to be elected into this position. So women should not just sit pretty and wait upon them being nominated. They should also present themselves and battle it out with the men out here, just like the women out here have already shown and demonstrated that they have that ability. And I think it's a very good example for young women and any other woman out there that is something that is possible, it's something that is doable, as long as they have the vision, they have the zeal, and the will to go for it. I submit, Miriam.
Thank you so much. And also,
Miriam, before we go to another, there's something I want to pay tribute to.
Go ahead.
The entire Nakuru County is only women. Most of them, 3/4 are women. Mm-hmm. I think you know that. Even the Jubilee woman swept it. Is it the Jubilee woman who swept that constituency?
Mm-hmm. Yes. I read
she got the well wishers of Jubilee Party. We should congratulate that lady for having removed one of the most obnoxious MPs, a very poisonous MP who has been insulting President Uhuru Kenyatta, who has been making a lot of insults, a lot of accusations, flawed by a woman. But Miriam, my position is this. I've been telling you that women don't need to have two-thirds gender rule. That is very wrong politics that people here say we must have a two-thirds gender rule in the constitution. Let the women compete. Let the women compete with other people in UK, in United Kingdom, in America, in other places. They release the women to go and compete, and you can see so many women in the Congress, in the Parliament, in the House of Commons, in UK, where we are. So it is not a very big problem for you. Women should not be told that you need two-thirds gender rule. No, you just go out. You see now, if you look at the number of women who are going to be in this 13th Parliament, the number will almost come to that number. I'm telling you. Even in some places where I did not expect they won.
Yes.
Thank you, Miriam.
And also perhaps, Doc, even as we look at this, because all these 7 women, except for one who ran as an independent, Kawira Mwangaza from Meru, but the rest, they were given the nomination by their parties. So also this goes to show that if we are to achieve truly this two-thirds gender, then parties must be open up to allowing and giving the nominations to the women who deserve it, based on merit, not just because they're a woman, because we've seen these ones were given, they were nominated and they were given the positions by their parties, and they've been able to deliver. So also that goes to show how much the party dynamics, if they work well, actually we not have to worry about this 2/3 gender rule, but it can actually be realized naturally by giving these nominations to people who deserve it, whether men or women. Jevan Karanja.
Thank you very much, Miriam, and for the contribution that the panelists have made their contribution, and it's very encouraging. And I think this achievement that we have seen in the country, where women are taking crucial leadership position in our country, has been amplified by the conducive environment that we have created as a country and allowing the democratic space to thrive. That is why we have more women coming up and giving themselves to run for this political position or elective position. And we have seen in time, Miriam, since the inauguration of the new constitution, we have seen new increasing number of women coming into position of leadership. Therefore, this is a process that is gaining momentum each and every election. Therefore, we anticipate by the time we get to 2032, we'll be almost getting a 2/3 gender rule without really having to emphasize it on the constitution, because we have tried to do it in the parliament. The 12 of the parliament have failed to articulate that clause, but the people of Kenya are really trying much to ensure that we have as much women into possession of leadership. And I can see in future, Miriam, this topic of women in possession of leadership will be a subject in the past. We'll be discussing leadership, not based on anything to do with gender, but on the manifestos and ideologies that is presented by either gender. Because at the end of the day, we reach a point where the ground will be too leveled, that will not have to look at women as the disadvantaged gender, but we look at men and women as equal partners in the politics of this country. And that is where we want to reach as a country, where we will not be looking down to women as people who are disadvantaged, but looking at them as people who have the capacity and the capabilities to take this country to the next level. That to me is a Kenya that I want to see in the next dispensation. All in all, I want to congratulate all women who have made it to the governor positions, because they have really tried their way up, and I wish they deliver, because at the end of the day, Miriam, if the people of these counties fails to get the services, they fail to get the quality development that they anticipated or they hoped for when they were electing these women, it will be meaningless to continue advocating for women leadership if at the end of the day they will not prove to be people and women who can articulate and deliver the promises that they made to the people of Kenya. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. And of course, now Kenyans continue to wait for the tallying that is ongoing right now at the National Tallying Center. That is the Bomas of Kenya. And there has been calls for IEBC to speed up the tallying process. Even as it continues, the IEBC has come out to clarify the concerns raised and explain the order they are following. And the first one is verification of transmitted image of results from Forms 34A against original Forms 34B. The IEBC was to verify results from both electronically submitted Forms 34A and the physical original Forms 34A submitted at the National Tallying Center by county returning officers during this process, which has already been completed. The second part of the verification process is verification of constituency Forms 34A against their respective original Forms 34A. And then the verified Forms 34A are compared to the physical Forms 34B that contains the totals of Form 34As, which are also submitted by the county returning officer, so they have to cross-check both. And then the county returning officers are required to submit 2 forms to the tallying center, Forms 34A and 34B. The commission is currently at this stage, and I think the last time that before we just came here on air, I'm sure probably that has changed. The commission had so far verified 174 forms, and about 116 were remaining. However, some returning officers have not yet arrived at the location to submit the documents for processing, which I really wonder why. And then the third part is collating of Forms 34C and confirming of the constitutional threshold of 50% plus one vote and 25% majority of counties. And then Forms 34B will now be compiled, collated into a single document that will be Form 34C. The commission will confirm who has achieved the required 50% plus 1% to determine the winner, and then after that, the declaration of the presidential results. So it's a whole process. And Doc, when you look at what we've been watching from the Bomas of Kenya and how IEBC is continuing with this tallying and collation and all these things, I don't know, what is your opinion and a bit of the fracas that we've seen come from there? Kiptanui.
Miriam, I think the IEBC, from what I can see from here, is that they don't want to make other mistakes like of 2017, where you could have been asked a question, even lawyers were asked a question and nobody could be in a position to answer. So congratulations to Chebukati and his team. Although I'm told there are some other commissioners and other officials who are group who are actually not doing whatever it is supposed to be done. Miriam, we will need to be so vigilant. You see, most of the people are watching. They are watching what is happening in Bomas, and we don't want those people. The people who are in Bomas are very few compared to the people who are in this country. We are almost 40 million or what. So we want to encourage them to do what it is right, what is supposed to be done. If it is verification, let us verify exactly whatever it has been. Whatever it has been brought from constituencies level or counties. Miriam, I don't know, there are a lot of animosity and there are a lot of propaganda in social media. And I want to watch our young people who are using this social media. Let us desist from spreading propaganda. Let us desist from spreading fake news. Fake news are all over, Miriam. Some people even have even declared results. And one of the chief propagandists in this country, I don't know, he asked which kind of artist my brother Dennis to. I don't know what it's up to him, because Miriam, he sometimes even amazes many of us. You see, let us not fund this country, and there is nothing that will happen in this country. At the end of the day, we are going to be. Chebukati is going to announce the president-elect, and this country will be peaceful, Miriam. Another thing that I want to ask those people who are in Bomas. Miriam, if you have not been told to, you don't have the part, and you are not been accredited, or you have not been selected to be on those tallying in the National Tallying Center, why do you go? You are raising a lot of emotions. I'm seeing in my social media, Orengo and Sibuna and some other people have been refused to enter there.
Sorry.
If it is not, thank you. If you are not allowed, they have said you are not allowed to go there, why don't you wait? This is silence, all of us. And I trust that whatever the IEBC is doing, Miriam, is good. Let us give them time. Let us give them opportunity to finish this thing. At the end of the day, we'll know who is the president-elect, and we will maintain peace, and we will accept the outcome of the results. Thank you.
Okay, very well. Thank you so much. Your observation, Doc, what has been happening in Bomas of Kenya so far? And I think Kiptanui has pointed out the issue of the mind game that we've seen being played by different camps. And I think there's a tweet that Dennis Itumbi tweeted the other day, maybe two days ago, about, I don't know, one of the officials from UDA having been arrested. He even said he was kidnapped, and then later on it was proved not to be true. So I think these are times where we all have a responsibility to be very careful with anything that we choose to say or share about these elections. Otherwise, that is how we set this country burning. All right, so I'll come back to Doc. I'll go to Gladwell. Doc? You're muted.
Yes. Miriam.
Yes.
As you were talking, I was thinking, the more IEBC waits, the more anxiety builds up amongst Kenyans. And the politics in Africa hates vacuum. So the best is this. But then it goes back to this question. Didn't IEBC anticipate the delay between the transmission from the constituency to theirs and the verification? Was there any planning? Did people plan about it? What do they do about it? It is causing unnecessary tension. Yet the Kenyans paid money to deploy people. I was shocked when I saw Wafula Chebukati saying is bringing more desks in the. How do you say casually like that? These people should have been put in another building where they compute under guard safety. They compute and more tables brought in. But I am told that it is only 30 minutes for per each tallied form. So 290 constituencies. Miriam has said, I don't know how many they are on now, but it is sad we might see the results even on Tuesday.
It's only 116 remaining, so I hope that will not take IEBC forever to
No,
verify.
it is, okay, 116 minus 291. What does it?
Minus
how many have
290,
they done?
174.
Only in 2-3 days. You can see.
Doc, but I think judging from what they've been able to discover from when they're tallying and the numbers that were exaggerated, say from Kiambu and other areas, I think it's worth taking their time.
Okay. But can I ask you one question?
Yes, but people are anxious. I agree with you.
They should have prepared that.
Yes.
They are now reacting to a situation. Did they, when they were buying the Kim kits, did they know that the transmission from the center to one area would cause problems? Management in Africa, Miriam, always fails us. And let's talk the truth and tell the people the truth, but nothing the truth. Yes, management here in Africa of elections is what has caused me very, 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 very bad high blood pressure. Whenever I hear a country going to elections, the management of elections, anything surrounding elections, from register, voters register, voters education, voters apathy. Look, Zimbabwe is going to elections in 2023, but already they are still shouting all over the whole world about elections. Because then what is the use of elections in Africa? What do we have elections for? What is it? What a country is struggling. They don't have even food. They want to hold elections. Kenya is wasting money. I am one of the few people who would advocate that let's put their marks for a country to pass before it holds the elections. Some marks, some benchmarks. Miriam, tell me, apart from South Africa, is there any Ghana where presidents are changed very peacefully? And Nigeria to some extent. Show me one other African country where presidents change without opposition leaders going to jail. Show me. Kenya. Kenya changes, but now the Kenya model must be improved. And one of the obstacles that Kenya needs to do, to look at, and all of you can research on this. Why don't you, Wesonga and all of you, Miriam, look at proportional representation? If we had proportional representation, Miriam, by now we would have known who is the winner of the elections, isn't it? We would have known. We would have known from the party, from how many MPs each party has got. And I'm talking about the MPs. Azimio seem to have a huge number of more MPs than UDA, despite the fact that Ruto's party swept the entire mountain of Karanja. Still, Azimio, Raila's party, has more MPs into the next 13th parliament. So why don't we use a proportional representation and elect the highest winner in political party, number of parties, like other places. Those who win more seats in parliament go and have their leader of that party, the president of that country. There's no more hassle. Why are we having so many people? There's nobody. Miriam, there are people in Kenya who have not eaten food. Yes. I have become like a returning officer online. How many, Matanga, how many people, when time is coming, when are they announcing? Look, so many people are sending me over 1,000 messages because of elections in Africa. And after that, when you issue the winner, you are going to see what is going to happen. I'm told you people in Kisumu have already started, and Eldoret, they have already started crowding in the city, coming to hear the results. So you create unnecessary anxiety because of poor planning that took place. Sorry. Thank you. Excuse me.
All right. Sorry, Doc, for that. Yes, indeed. Gladwell Kirago.
Thank you so much, Miriam. And I'll agree that this election is actually causing unnecessary drama, unnecessary anxiety. And let us go back to where we were saying that they postpone the election when they are ready, because definitely they're not ready. Miriam, with this election, we can look even at the turnout of the voters. There were not as many as compared to the last previous election. So what would happen if actually the turnout would be as much as the previous election? That means then the IEBC would have actually maybe taken 2 weeks then to announce the winner. I mean, can the IEBC hurry up? We got so much things that are actually in line. We got kids who are supposed to go back to school. We have so many things which are at stake, which are waiting for attendance. So can they hurry up? And we always say there's life after election. There's a country after election. We need to know who is the president, and we move on. Miriam, I submit.
Very well, thank you so much. And I think Doc has brought up the issue of election management, and even right now I think what is making Kenyans more anxious and frustrated is the fact that they had the call to come out and vote, which they did, and so they are hoping that the people who are now mandated with the responsibility of taking care of the results and announcements and all that, the management part of our ballot, can do their job without being compromised, without this circus that we're seeing playing out in different parts, especially at the Bomas of Kenya. So this is quite, Kenyans voted peacefully, went home. Now we've been waiting, but even as we do that, the kind of fracas that we see play out at the Bomas of Kenya and these reports, and especially these mind games being played by supporters of the different sides, might not augur very well with the peaceful and the calmness that we are experiencing right now in the country. Daniel Wesonga, I don't know, what is your thoughts in what all these reports that we've been receiving from, and especially what has been happening at the Bomas of Kenya?
Thank you so much, Miriam. And of course, I agree so much with Dr. Masanga David and Gladwell Kirago that we've made our elections to be a do or die, affair. And it is, Miriam, this was the same problem that BBI actually sought to address. And but unfortunately, it was shot down by politicians who do not believe that this country can have winners at any given particular election. Because right now, as it is, 50% of someone's supporters are going to go home disappointed, whereas the other 50 is going to go in a celebratory mood in less than maybe 2 days to come. So, Miriam, I believe, just like you say, if IEBC could have done its homework quite well and boosted the confidence of the Kenyan voter into their dealings and the way it was carrying out the elections, then we wouldn't have had this push and pull at Bomas. You remember in 2013, when the IEBC had just been constituted, we did not have this kind of tension at the tallying center. Why is it happening 10 years later? It is because perhaps over time we've not been doing fatigue evaluation and we've not been cleaning up IEBC, regardless of the concerns that have been coming from the political class and the civil society. We've not moved an inch to be able to put IEBC to task in order for the commission to be able to put its house in order. And you can see the kind of blunders they started with. In terms of logistics, even before the elections began, people had already lost confidence in IEBC. Right now, if you're on social media, you are seeing the kind of errors, that are being thrown left, right, and center in terms of the forms and the wrong figures and the discrepancies in the tallying of the results. And that is what has forced IEBC now to go manual and to tally vote by vote, which is actually consuming a lot of time. But in the negative effect of it, it's actually causing tensions to rise. So to me, Miriam, I believe that if IEBC could have done its homework quite well and ensure that they carry out a free, fair, credible, and verifiable election. And remember, an election is not a one-day event. It is a process. So therefore, even in allowing the Kim's kit to fail and disregarding the manual register, that was a very, very big contempt of what IEBC is supposed to do. In my own home county of Busia, we had areas where older people could not be identified by a Kim's kit, but unfortunately, we did not have even a manual register to be able to aid the situation. So you can understand the kind of maybe scenario that actually has precipitated this kind of tension in Bomas. So IEBC is the cause of these problems. If IEBC would have conducted an election which nobody can cast any shadow of doubt upon, then we wouldn't be having these kind of push and pull between various party agents and presidential candidates agents at Bomas. So I think IEBC over time has deteriorated, and it is of no use. It is no much better than what we used to have in the defunct ACK. And therefore, Miriam, I think for us to have a free and fair presidential election in these particular polls, it will be a miracle. But if so happens that we do have one, then we must clean IEBC going forward. Because right now the country is actually just dancing at the edge of the cliff. Anything small could actually trigger violence. And that is what describes the kind of tensions that we are having across the country. Mm-hmm. So IEBC should act up. I know the time has already elapsed, but it is not too late to make things right. I submit.
Okay. And even as we speak, presidential candidate Wahiga Maure conceded defeat, endorsing William Ruto as vote tallying is still underway at the Bomas of Kenya. Samuel Tawish, I don't know what you make of this. Tawish?
Thank you, Miriam. I think first and foremost, it's a mixed bag of feeling. In as far as the time IEBC has taken really to tabulate and of course tally the results, especially those of the presidential election. But much as there's a lot of anxiety and what appears to be a lack of patience coming from Kenyans, something that is justifiable, because from Tuesday to Sunday today, we expected that at least IEBC would have made some effort to have announced the results of the presidential election. But I think because our constitution dictates that they have a maximum of 7 days from the time election has been held to declare or announce the winner or the results of such election, they still have really some time to be able to put this together before they can eventually make that announcement. My opinion may appear as somehow a departure from what my colleagues have mentioned. Because again, there could be, if we have a IEBC, if they do this work in haste and maybe say some gaps and some issues that are going to arise out of this tabulation, verification of the results, it may give someone really further to go to the Supreme Court and challenge the outcome of this election. So I think it's important for us also to attempt to be a bit fair and allow IEBC time to be able to finish the work that they have done. In any case, the Constitution allows them 7 days, which hasn't quite elapsed as we speak now, Miriam. Away from that, there's this issue about, of course, Wahiga Maure having one considered defeat. It is obvious because again, he's trailing as number 4 out of the 4 candidates. And the votes, of course, he has got, even if there was a miracle or magic, I don't think he could pull any surprise. And that's why I think he's just owned up, he's surrendered, and really said, according to him, his party, Agano Party, and himself, of course, and the running mate, do not quite stand a chance of upsetting the numbers that we already have, in as far as the current tally is concerned. But again, what I want to appreciate much, Miriam, there's a new culture that is quite emerging in the country today, unlike in the past. It is striking a paradigm shift because with every election you're seeing there's a new thing that emerges. More so there's this new tradition and culture of people who have lost in election coming out to concede honorably and also thank their opponents and even vouch or even promise to work together or alongside those who have defeated them or those who have emerged victors in an election. I think this is something that has been uncommon in the country. We've seen in the past when someone is defeated, everybody cries foul play, everybody wants to go to court, everybody wants to call a demonstration, but it's quite a very sharp contrast or a departure from the tradition that we have been used to. This is a culture altogether, but the Kenyan people are having a new spirit altogether, where we get to acknowledge that election is not about enmity, it is a normal competition. These are just political competitions, and by the end of the day, whoever wins, we need to shake hands and move this country together. It's only that the message that the people of Kenya get when their leaders do that is that these individuals or these camps really have the vision, but the people of Kenya chose a certain this vision over the other, and we then need to move this country forward, or even the individual or the respective constituencies, wards, the counties to move forward instead of us holding people or the people of Kenya hostage. That said and done, Miriam, it's also regrettable that at a time when we are all waiting for the results from IEBC, at a time when everybody is called upon to refrain from making any declaration to the effect who has won the presidential election, that one Wahiga Mwaure, one of the presidential candidates, apart from conceding, he also comes and, of course, gives his support and also announces to the country that, according to him, DP William Ruto is already or has already won, and petitioning IEBC really to announce him as the winner. You know, that in itself, Miriam, such a statement is very, very, it's very dangerous. It's sending a very negative signal to the people who are waiting patiently with bated breath to see who the IEBC is going to announce. So, assuming the people who support Deputy President William Ruto by the end of the day find that when IEBC makes the official or formal announcement that DP Ruto has not emerged as the winner of this presidential election, you know, the statements like those Mwaura has made will not really augur well for this country. So I think leaders need to act with a lot of restraint. They need to act with a lot of civility, and to understand that they may have their own personal issues. They may have their own personal interests as far as this election is concerned. They may have been bought by some of these political bigwigs really to be there as just stooges, or really to give such kind of postures that we are seeing Wahiga Mwaura giving. But they should understand by the end of the day that this country is bigger than any of them who's contesting. There are only but four, or I should say, 8 people who are running for the presidency. So
Dawish, let me hear. I didn't hear what did Mwaura say, because I usually don't listen to.
Okay. So Mwaura
what did he say? I don't know. I'm sorry. You hold on the fire there.
He has conceded defeat and is now endorsing William Ruto, even as vote tallying is underway. So he's saying from the figures, I don't know what figures he's looking at, because everybody else stopped as there was a bit of mix-up, and now we have to wait for the IEBC. So he's saying from the figures...
He's endorsing William Ruto.
From the figures, he's saying that there's an indication that William Ruto might win, and so he's endorsing him now. And you wonder, why is he endorsing him now? If he really, really wanted to add value to William Ruto, he should have endorsed him before the elections, but he's endorsing him now. Very interesting.
No, he's endorsing him because these are the people, some of the Kikuyus who have been hating Kenyatta family. Wacha tuambiane ukweli. They are Kikuyus who have actually brought a lot of stupidity, like that one, pretending to be a church minister when he's just a very bad rapist. You know, these are some of the people that we have to tell the truth. The problem that you Kenyans have is that you allow rapists like this one who raped the daughter to come around here and tell people that what? They just hate. Miriam, these guys hate. Tawishi tuambiane ukweli. Huyu this that church pastor who rapes people's women in the church, that he comes around to tell you that they hate Kenyatta family. Look at the problem we have here. Let's be organized. Look here. All of you are producing children. Tomorrow, you might reach the age like Matanga. You are going to go home to the maker. Don't you give property that you have, even if you have one shoe. Don't you surrender one shoe to your daughter, Mr. Tawish? And say, keep this shoe, you'll wear it, or cut it into two and make another shoe. Uhuru Kenyatta found the father, if you are going to condemn Uhuru Kenyatta, because he took over and inherited what the father had made. Whom did you want the father to give the things to? I just want some of these Kenyans to answer. Whom did you want the father? You see, the biggest problem is that His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta left these guys to grow legs. You know, you can see some of the statements that they make that I endorse. You are now creating, actually, what Tawish, that's why it caught my attention. What Tawish was saying is the same. I agree with you, Tawish. We are creating a very bad precedent where people are going to now say, even Mwaura endorsed Ruto. If Ruto does not get the vote, you see, it will be chaos. So some of these people need to be told the truth. Miriam, time has come. We have been saying we wait, we play decorum. A priest, that priest, what? What priest? What priest? Let him tell us what killed the daughter.
And because people were looking at him differently and had some level of respect for him, but right now, by him endorsing,
can I tell you, Miriam, there's no respect there. These are evangelical churches that have invaded this country. Evangelical churches, these are not churches. These are commercial entities that have come to Kenya and have taken over Kenya. And if you are not careful, if you Kenyans are not careful, I'm telling you, it's your country. If you are not careful, years to come, this country will have evangelical churches. You will have churches taking over, and there will be a lot of radicalism, worse than Islamic radicalism. You see today, Ruto, you show the picture of Ruto handling. Tell Stephen, the production team, to bring Ruto with 2 Bibles. Trying to show us that he's godly when he has killed Meshach Ayabei. Kwenda, mwende. This guy killed Meshach Ayabei. This guy killed so many people. And now you Kenyans are telling people, oh, he's very good. He's shooting. Fuck off. I don't want to hear. This guy is supposed to be in prison. Ruto is supposed to be in jail. Ruto has killed so many people right from 2007. I was here for Sky News. I saw the bodies. I arrived there with helicopter. I couldn't. The fire engine came when I was seeing. Some of you did not see. You hear the story. When I see the sight of Ruto with his black eyes, that white teeth, I feel so bad. Fake white teeth. Telling people that he's a deputy president, he wants to become a president of a very good country. Where you kill people and poke and throw them in Miami near the prison. Why is it that everybody is thrown near the prison in Miami? Can we now tell the story? Wacha tuchafue hii kama mnataka. We are not going to be intimidated. He will handle this election properly, haki ya Mungu. Nyenye, you don't know. You handle this thing properly, otherwise, itakuwa mbaya. You have people are playing, they are fearing. Announce the results. Announce. If whoever has won, sindio utawishi, tuende kotini. If he has won, he can't have relationship here. Me, I cannot, let me today tell you the truth. I cannot support a man who wears a yellow t-shirt, which has molested me, Matanga, for 37 years. So let Kenyans know I have personal interest. I also have interest. Has Ruto got more degrees than me? Fuck him. Has he got more degrees than me? Fuck him. Don't want to know. Who's Ruto? Who's Ruto? Umutu. Some of us are soldiers. We can also go to the bush. Hey, nyenye, mchunge kabisa. You people, you don't know.
And Doc, you've been talking about some activities, both allegedly, that would be coming from Uganda or something.
We know. It's being funded. It's being funded, and the Kenyans are watching. Umeona? Kenyans are watching here. When you tell them, they think you are making a noise. The intelligence coming from different angles. This Ruto is being funded. Ruto, if this election is not in his favor, you will see what is going to happen.
There was a video making waves, I think, over the years. From yesterday, I saw one. Allegedly, some ballot papers coming from Uganda that are being carried by a government vehicle from Uganda at the border in Western Kenya.
And the people think it is Bungoma. Do you know why Bungoma County got the highest number? There's a house in Bungoma where all these materials of IEBC were stored. Of a Somali lady. Why are we keeping quiet? Why did Bungoma get the highest number of votes? People were given 6 ballots. 6 ballots. I am telling you, all these returning officers were compromised, were paid much earlier. And when I kept on shouting here, people told me I was a madman. Wacha niende nyumbani leo. I will not lack where to sleep. I will not lack where to sleep. In fact, I will sleep very comfortably. Forget about Africa. You know, I saw this thing coming. I saw it coming. I swear in the name of God. I have been in this region for a long time. Ruto behaves exactly like a Museveni. Museveni started disturbing us on election like this, and we got into trouble. You see? We got into trouble. How many MPs has he got? How many? No, you tell me. Yeah, you're telling me he has got figures. How many MPs? We have defeated him in MPs. Raila Amolo Odinga has more MPs. He will not reach more MPs than ourselves. And then you want to hand over your thing to a stupid guy. Why is the wife running away? Why has the wife run away to take money into Uganda? Why is she hiding in Uganda? What? You think Ruto threatens people here? But usithreaten Waganda. Sisi wabaya. Ninakuambia leo mjue. Hiyo mambo muache. Yes, threatening Uhuru Kenyatta here. Every time Uhuru Kenyatta threatening him. Hala mzee. What is the wife doing in Kampala? What is she doing in that hotel? My friend. What is she doing? Where is she? Did you see her in the service? Where is she? Where is the money that Mudavadi brought from Doha? Where is it? Isn't it stuck in Kampala? What time? What is this, man? Miriam, this is going to be a disaster. You see, nobody wants trouble. I hope Kenyans, when they needed that help, some of us came out. We put our best feet ahead. You can kill me. You can even harass me. You can send me away from your country. But I did my level best. Isn't it in Kektawish? Were you not the one interviewing me? Didn't you interview me on GBS? Miriam, Miriam, you are my people interviewing me. Unfortunately, you didn't find me in GBS. This guy used to interview me every day about ICC. Who wanted them? Who wanted these guys? Now we are watching a situation develop. People are doing so many things. Ruto is radicalizing people. When we, Chiweleke group, we were told to keep quiet. We were a very powerful group. We had known all the tricks of Chiwele, of Tanga. We would have hammered. We would have finished. We should have balanced this fort in the mountain. People, look at what is going on now. How can a managing director, Miriam, of a company tell you that he did not do due diligence on the machines? I did not do due diligence with his lips big like this. Big lips. You Kenyans listen to this crap. In fact, Miriam, continue with this, the other subject. Let's go on. But that is my problem. Sorry, I have no good words for Mr. William Ruto. And I have no regrets. He goes to him. There are some stupid maggots somewhere in the world here. There are malcontents, sorry. There are some malcontents who are saying, oh, we like Ruto because this and that. I found some in Zimbabwe, malcontents, that they support Ruto against Raila Odinga. I told them that you can support. Why don't you support to remove your own sanctions? What did you have? Zimbabwean is also coming up to say, oh, I support William Ruto. What will William do? Why can't you support a move to remove sanctions from your country? You can't even shout for your own country for over 22 years. I've been shouting. I told them, just shut up. I've reached that stage now. Shut up. Will I die? Will I die? I have made a lot of you people. Are you not people? Will you find me when I lack food? Miriam, will you especially, you people, if I lack food in the streets of Nairobi, Miriam, will you leave me hungry? Haven't I made a living for people here? I have. We have lived, we have worked together. That is what a human being should do. I've contributed to the community. I have not come here and brought my fellow Ugandans to work in this station. I have brought Kenyans. One of you will find me on the street and give me food. And I said that old man there with when I am the back is bending like this, when I'm walking with the stick, someone will stop and say, hey, stop the car, stop the car. That was my boss. You will give me some food if I've done anything wrong. But I cannot sit to wait a man who is going to finish this country to take power and I don't speak about it. No. They have compromised that IEBC. Where we are moving into a terrible stage. A terrible stage. You look at all the disaster that is taking shape on the floor of IEBC. Moses Kuria, everybody, Aaron Chariot, they go there to fight. Another woman here who changes husbands like a clothes. She was with a black man, she's with now a white man, she likes Matanga, she likes this one, she likes Matanga, she likes, oh, come to the hotel, come and have sex with me. All these type of people. That she's also a supervisor there. Yeah? What the hell is this? That Mrs. Shole, Wenda, Shole my foot. Thank you.
She's no longer Mrs. Shole. I think
she uses the name Shole, Gladwell blooded sijui what with a Muzungu. Then she makes appointment hotels for people to go and sleep with her. What credibility? What?
Yeah, it's Gladys. It's Gladys Shole, not Gladwell.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
That she's a returning officer of legs upstairs. When? Today I don't like stupidity. She's stealing laptop. She's stealing everything. They have compromised the system. So what do? Just cry. We are just breaking the wall in order to rescue the votes.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you very much, Miriam. That is my Wesonga. If you are keeping quiet, you keep quiet, not me.
I'd like Jevan to say something before Wesonga comes up. Jevan.
Yeah, Miriam, I'm here. I'm following what Dr. Yeah.
Yes, but on presidential candidate David, who has come out to concede defeat, and then on top of that, he's saying that judging by the numbers, then it is apparent that William Ruto will win, so he is throwing his support behind William Ruto. Is it reckless at this point, because IEBC is not even close to giving us the final tally?
Thank you, Miriam, for that good question. And I think it was reckless of Wahiga Mwaure to come out at this juncture when the whole country is full of anxiety, when everybody is anxious to know what will prevail from the bombers of Kenya. For him to come and tell us that William Ruto is almost one leg to State House, that shows a man who is reckless in his behavior, shows a man who has a loose tongue, and a man who is not bothered for the interest of this country. Because Miriam, what if William Ruto is not declared the president? What will Wahiga Mwaure tell Kenyans? Because he has already given a verdict that William Ruto will be the next president. I think to him, even to his reputation, that is not good as a man, as a member of the clergy, as a man who walks around with a badge of bishop. I think that was not the right way to do things. Even if he supports William Ruto, this is not the time to support. This is the time to wait what Chebukati will tell Kenyans, because we had the time to campaign. We had the time to change our political alignment, and Wahiga Mwaura did not do that. We had the time to weigh our support to our favorite candidates. Wahiga Mwaura didn't do that. Why is he doing it now? And I think, Miriam, if I'm not wrong, and if my speculation will hold any water at the end of the day, I think Wahiga Mwaura was directed, and I think him coming out to consider at this time, I don't think it is out of his own
volition.
I think someone somewhere is pressing Wahiga Mwaura to concede, and I think, if I'm not wrong, those calls came from Karen. That is why he is conceding and at the same time endorsing William Ruto as the next head of state. I don't think Wahiga Mwaura did it voluntarily. Some other forces was behind him conceding the defeat. Thank you.
Very well. Gladwell, your thoughts on what Mwaura just said?
Thank you so much, Miriam. And of course, I actually agree with my brother Jevan. Those were not his thoughts, because actually, if you read what he has said, personally, what he wrote, he said that he endorsed William Ruto as the leading candidate, and he urges the IEBC to declare him as the winner when it is time to do so. And he also said that we will collaborate and support him because his manifesto and campaign promises, you can underline there, because his manifesto and campaign promises agrees with ours. So actually, that's a self-explanatory. Maybe he has been promised something. That's why he is actually here. to confuse Kenyans. And Miriam, I can tell you that his statement is not taken lightly at this moment, because it is a topic of discussion now everywhere. And I can see even the bloggers actually discussing it, because Miriam, as was saying, we voted peacefully, and we voted, there was this thing: if you vote, go home, wait for the results. But now it is coming out to be the other way around. And that was so careless of him, because Miriam, he is causing a more tension than it was, because the IEBC itself has not declared who is the winner. So he has actually come out, and there's some people, when they are told this is it, and then they know this is it. You can say, for example, the UDA bloggers have now actually started spreading that piece of what Maure has said. So you can see the kind of tension they are creating. And as we said, we want a peaceful country. But Miriam, with these careless utterances, then the peace we want, actually, we will be daydreaming then. We are waiting for the IEBC to declare. So let us keep calm. Whatever keep it to yourself. Another person who also need to be on the watch out is Dennis Itumbi. Itumbi has also been doing some silly stuff, even going live and giving some information which people have not been taking lightly. So you can see the kind of the carelessness even the bloggers have. And somebody like Itumbi, he's followed by people. And as I've said, the Kenyans, when they hear that this is the stand, they can't change their ground. So there's somebody who has gone by what Maure has said, that Ruto has won. We want a peaceful country. So these people, can they keep quiet? And I agree with Doc. There is a moment whereby you tell somebody, can you just shut up?
Okay, Kiptanui. Is this the time to congratulate winners when we are still far from knowing exactly who has won these elections, even as we wait for IEBC to conclude with the tallying?
Thank you, Miriam. I call that statement by hybrid religious conman reckless. It's reckless in a manner that, Miriam, it can plunge this country to chaos. You see, most of the people, I agree with my sister Gladwell Kiragu. There are a lot of propaganda, there are a lot of hate speech, there are a lot of things that might plunge this country to chaos. Miriam, I am your competitor today. And then after, even I've not seen whether you won, and then I say I supported you and we are competing together. What are you telling a villager like who was watching Maure at an hotel at Mkahawa in Tugoi? What are you telling somebody who is watching in Kanandi in Wasilish? You are telling prepare that if this guy is not being announced, it will be Kimeibiwa. And this is a recipe of chaos, as we told you on Friday, Miriam. That it started like this. Remember, most of the statement that people are battling at that time is the same statement which landed them in egg. One is the former Kas FM Mancha, who was leading a program called Lene, who happens to be Nemo called Sang, who was accused together with the Deputy President Miriam. He used to crack so much in radio station. He used to do like Itumbi. I think I warned Itumbi in the morning on his Facebook page that the only thing you are calling for ICC to come and arrest you. And you will be arrested, you will be repatriated to be charged. You see, Miriam, that gentleman did not know. He was coordinating, the man I was coordinating program it's the same program, which is, it is a show, it's a program in local radio station. From 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. called Lena AM. It's a purely for political engagement. And Sang supposed to be who almost dropped in egg. So I want to warn these brothers and sisters who are spreading this. And see, Miriam, my brother Jevan Karanja said something. We've been calling out these fake pastors, fake Kilaji, these fake people. Who, Miriam, Maure is not a different clergy than those who William Ruto used to visit their churches, giving them 10 million. Somebody was telling me he used to give 30 million per week. You see, these are the people. Their interest, Miriam, is that when William Ruto will take over, I will be taken care of. Miriam, when we had deputy president debate, we saw our deputy coming out. She was actually debating with Christina, and she spoke about a lot of things. Maure also was debating alone recently. So it was actually, if he knew that his manifesto and the one of Kenya Kwanza or the one for UDA was speaking the same thing. He could have said, okay, now I'm no longer going fighting for this. Let me support William Ruto. But because he's one man is among those clutches in Mount Kenya who have actually eaten William Ruto's money. He has power to do that, to say that. He can say anything. But I want to still just tell these people that let us not listen anything apart from the only word that will come from Chebugat media. Thank you.
Very well, thank you so much. Wasonga, your thoughts on this, and then Doc will conclude for us.
Thank you so much, Miriam. And of course, it is reckless having the fact that it is coming from a presidential candidate. And we know quite well that the results should be announced by no one else other than the IEBC, the electoral body. So I think it is quite inciting and quite divisive that the man of God chose to go in that particular route. You know, he has all the rights to concede and thank the people who voted for him, but he has no right under the Constitution to actually maybe try to talk in a way that hints maybe to a particular candidate being the winner of the election. As far as we are concerned, IEBC is even yet to cross more than 3/4 of the verification of the results at Bomas. So there is no way he could actually come out and say that so-and-so is winning when he is not the chairman of IEBC. So to me, I agree strongly with what Dr. Masanga said. I agree strongly with my sister Gladwell Kirago. I agree with Kiptanui Sebania that, these are things that actually might bring violence in the country. If a particular candidate tries to insinuate that maybe one of the leading candidates is the one who has won the election, when he himself is not in capacity to actually be able even to tally the votes, then it's a bit unfortunate. And this act of cowardice should actually be condemned in the strongest term possible. If he wanted to concede early enough like he has done, because he knows he cannot win the election, he should actually just keep quiet or go do whichever thing that he does at his own leisure time, but not inside the people of Kenya, giving them misinformation that could actually maybe spark some kind of violence in the country. Let us maintain peace. Let's be patient with IEBC. We know at the end of today or at the end of tomorrow, we shall be having a president-elect, and that is what majority of Kenyans are waiting to see. And we can always do that in a peaceful manner without misinformation and without actually inciting the law-abiding citizens. I submit.
Well, thank you so much, Doc. Conclude for us.
First of all, I am very delighted to have had to read Wachikoya's. Have you seen Wachikoya's press statement? It has just come very fantastic. Wachikoya has just said he's waiting for elections to be over, the returning officer to announce the results of the winner, and then they will make their statement official. Otherwise, he wants the IEBC to conclude this election by announcing the winner without making any utterances that can ignite Kenyans. He wants Kenyans to be peaceful until the final whistle. That is statesmanship, not rapist with jagged teeth, with very wrong teeth. I don't know why SK Machari has got the son standing there pretending to be that he is also present. Let them go and do their things in their house. I was calling you SK Macharia to sack the son to go home. Let them go and build. Thank you. I have no words. Let's end. Thank you very much. Let's again very early in the morning. Let's wait for the. It is very disturbing, Miriam. This is not the type of. Surely, this is not the type of humanity. Why do you, in the middle of an exercise, wait until the thing changes? This is a very terrible scenario. It's a very terrible time. Every Kenyan deserves peace, isn't it? Miriam, we deserve peace.
Yeah.
But when a man who was sponsored. Have you seen now? He was sponsored, paid by the master. And they cleared. You see, Chebukati and Ruto made sure that they clear Mwaura. This Mwaura could not get 48,000 signatures. Where could he get 48,000 signatures? If you can get 12 votes. That I'm a church leader, my vote. Wenda. I'm really very, Miriam, I'm sorry. Today, every person who wants peace in Africa should learn from these mistakes. And Miriam, in my concluding remarks, let African countries start learning and knowing elections are very useless. They are very useless. Electing people every 5 years, you are spending money, you are wasting money. Why don't we change a situation where you elect a president, Medium, for 7 years? And after 7 years, the president goes completely. Yes, you save the money. The little money you make in 5 years, you put 60 billion into an election, which takes 7 days, counting a simple machine, which you should have planned how long it takes and then employ the people. Strategic management, which I'm going to graduate in November, Miriam. I will show you. You stand on the video and see me. Strategic management. Yes. Why are you telling us about tables? That, let's put more tables and call more people. These people should have been trained. They should be on standby. But the people in Africa run for kickbacks. They don't do the thing. They run to sell the paper, ballot paper, get a commission from this mathematics. You know, they have now, their account is swelling. And we Kenyan, you Africans are being left to fight. We are going to fight. They want us to fight, you know. Don't fight. This time, go for the men who take the money, like Chebukati. Don't fight yourselves. Government should take, if the election is badly managed, if it is mismanaged, the current government, which is in power, should arrest the Chebukati and take him in jail as people go to petition to court, because he's useless. He did that in 2017. He ran away with it. Now he's doing it again. He's about to run away with it. His money is in account. These children will never die of hunger. But Miriam and myself and other people's children, we shall be suffering. He has made his kill, isn't it? That's the Africa we want, isn't it? If that is the Africa we want, from my mobile unit, let me close my mobile unit and drive back to my bunker before Farouk and Ruto kill me. But when they come, you come also when you know you live halfway. Hakuna kucheza, mimi niko askari. Ni hapana civilian. You go on harassing Kenyatta, because Kenyatta is a civilian. Wewe kuja kwa wanaume. Wewe atereri. This coughing with fake teeth. Poisoning women with AIDS. Fuck you. Kuna leo mambo ya kucheka na watu. Thank you very much, viewers. This is Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting all the way from the Republic of Kenya in Nairobi, near Bomas of Kenya. we are going back again, very disappointed. We have nothing to do, Miriam. Again, apprehension. Schools will not open by Thursday. They have to write again another date. Students are missing because of poor management and a poor strategic management in Africa. Do you see the danger you have? Your son was told to go tomorrow. They have extended it to 18th. Believe me or not, by 18th, by tomorrow, they will announce. And I want you to take this question home, all of you. In case by Tuesday, the 116 constituencies are not yet finished, and have you anticipated a constitutional crisis? Let's say today some earthquake comes and we don't finish. What happens? Miriam, answer. Think outside the box. If 116 constituencies are not finished by Tuesday, midnight,
hopefully they will be done.
What do you do? He has to announce elections by midnight Tuesday. So, but if he reaches there and say all machines are jammed, they can't transfer, what do you do? And you can't read the energy without the machine, what do you do?
Just hope for the best, Doc.
There's no hoping for the best. This is going to happen. The way people have started like this, no, anybody can jam that thing of bombers. It could be jammed. What will you do?
Kenyans already anxious.
Can we think? No, Miriam, can we think about it? That anything could happen tomorrow, that it is impossible to use the machine to be able to transmit. Is there a method in the Constitution that you can be able, since you want only transmission, how will you read the photographs? Before you go, Tawish, try it. Don't run away, Tawish. Just 2 minutes. Let's finish this.
Dr. David, there will be a lot of constitutional crisis actually, because Constitution is very clear. When it is 7 days, it is 7 days. And I think there are some people, as some of the commissioners have said, are trying as much as possible to see these elections not succeeding. And that is one of the ways. You see, I saw yesterday when you see these commotions in IEBC, I'm told now they have closed the doors for it. Nobody is entering inside so that they pass the list. But it is possible with Kenya and this Africa. It's possible for one person to interfere with those machines, and it will bring a lot of consequences.
Thank you very much, Tanui. Let me ask the question again, Miriam. Let's not avoid this question. Imagine now the API, which I was talking about. Someone goes to disorganize the whole transmission system, and the results are not transmittable. What do you do? Has Chebukati moved to court to prepare the papers to ask the court? Because the only person now who can give you the mandate to extend the deadline on good reason, you must go to the Supreme Court for the presidency and tell the court, has he prepared? If you ask them, they are not yet prepared. But imagine God also hears so many people crying. God does not listen to Ruto alone. He listens to everybody. People have been crying that Ruto is a thief. Ruto has killed Meshach Yabei. Ruto killed Kenei. Please. And somewhere they stop an election stops. So what do you do? We haven't put a provision that in case machines fail on delivery, we assumed that people will count the vote 1, 2, 3, 7 million for, and the debt is gone. Now here, what about if the machines fail to work and there is no verification from one center to the other? Miriam, what do? What does the constitution say? Did you write your constitution? Is that a constitution now? You call me, it is one of the best progressive constitutions. You're a student of Miriam. Don't look that side. You are one of the students of.
We will cross that bridge when we get there. But I'm sure the court.
No, you are a student of analysis, critical analysis, risk assessment. Miriam, you are doing risk assessment courses.
I'm not doing risk assessment, Doc. Please.
Okay, what do we do? Gradual, a quick one. What do you do? What shall we do? Gradual. Tawish, what shall we do?
We nullify the election.
You can't nullify. Tawish?
Well, Daktari, basically, I think if we find ourselves in such circumstances where IEBC will not be in a position to declare the results within the 7-day window period, I think it will necessitate a constitutional crisis where President Kenyatta will have to continually, of course, be in power until when we have election, when you have another election. Because for one, if IEBC does announce the election results outside the window period, as provided for in the Constitution, then it will give a reason for any Kenyan, leave alone even the presidential candidates themselves. It will give a window for any Kenyan to go and petition the courts and ask that election really to be declared null and void, because the announcement of the results was done outside the window period as provided for in the regulations and in the Constitution of Kenya. Dr. Masanga.
Okay. Wesonga.
I think, Dr. Masanga, I agree with my brother Tarwish Olesasina that first of all, it will be a constitutional crisis. And due to this constitutional crisis, we only have two possibilities. One, either President Uhuru Kenyatta continues to hold the reins of power as the president until IEBC is able to conduct a free, fair, credible, and verifiable election, or the government of the day, the state agencies, or the president, they constitute a caretaker government to take charge of government for a certain period of time as IEBC puts its act together. So I think those are two options, maybe, from my perspective.
Thank you very much, Miriam. You have made your stand already that we cross the bridge and see what happens there. But if the bridge is not crossable, I don't know. But for me, I want to thank all of you. Let me wind up my situation here and go and take cover and wait for the results, of which Raila Amolo Odinga is my favorite candidate. And then I will come out shining. Even if whatever comes, I'm ready for it. But it is not ending like that. I will be the last man standing. I am not in favor of Ruto touching any powers in this country. And I have to speak frankly, I don't like Ruto touching power in this country nation. He will kill East African dream of integration. He will mortgage this country to thieves and a mafia style that kills people at night and throws them in Miami. Thank you.
Thank you for watching.